Okay, so we had the car at SA Time Attack on Saturday. Went really well. The car won Invitational and set the outright fastest lap time. And nice for us, it was a PB. So we took half a second off the car's previous best with not much boost on board, and really kind of just still settling in. But basically we got sort of a few questions about the car, about the social media for the car, where people can find updates. And we had been talking about doing some more stuff with the car and I guess documenting what we're doing. It was more going to be just for us, but we figured we may as well sort of put it up on YouTube, and people seem interested in, at least in this, and maybe they'll enjoy the year we've got ahead of us. But everything went pretty well. We only got the engine back in the car. We only got the engine back Sunday. That was put together by Steph Parker at PRS Engines and went well. It only had 2 heat cycles prior to the day, and it didn't miss a beat. But sadly, one of it did miss a beat was the turbocharger. So that is now out. We have, unfortunately, what looks like to be maybe some damage to the housing. As you can probably see just in that sort of blade there, that's a little bit damaged. But if you look past the blade, which is pretty tricky to do, get the focus on that. But yeah, there's actually damage in the housing. So I'll find out today whether it's damage to maybe just the wheels, or the housings are too damaged, or the bearings are damaged, and we'll go from there. So one of the questions we often get is how big the turbo is. It's a GTX45 weighing in at 18.7 kilos. Hence the bracing to the chassis rail and the sway bar mounts to support it, so we don't put excess pressure on the manifold and dump pipe and lead to those things cracking. So we'll get the turbo off to ATS now. Hopefully they can turn it around in time for the March 9th Porsche event, which is also a twilight event, which should be pretty fun to throw some flames at the Porsches and give them hopefully a run for their money, keep those guys honest. But yeah, once I find out from ATS, we'll sort of update things and go from there, and hopefully keep, I guess, if you guys if there's interest, and we'll keep going with this. Okay, so I got the turbocharger back from ATS. Got the news pretty quickly that it was actually a failed heat shield. I should have remembered this. We had the exact issue back in 2019 with another, again, GTX45. Basically, what happens is the heat shield here fails and splits, and as it disintegrates, it basically eats out the... As you can see, it still spins pretty happy, but that turbo is cactus. So the best option was a new turbo. So different this time. We could have just gone a straight swap and put another GTX45 back on it, but that's sort of old tech. We've had the issue twice now, back in 2019, and then again, obviously now with the GTX45. The G45-1500 is basically more efficient. It's lighter by about 3 kilos. The exhaust wheel is Inconel, and it's got a 13 blade compressor versus the 11 of the GTX45, and running the Garrett stainless rear as opposed to the teal rear. So really overall should be able to produce a bit more power, but at least be a bit more efficient. And with the better flowing exhaust, we're hoping basically we're going to manage the heat a bit better in the rear, and hopefully less issues with overall stress and strain on the manifold. And as you can see, the car gets pretty toasty in the engine bay. So we're going to take some steps to try and, again, just better manage that heat to ensure we get some nice reliable performance out of the car. So pretty much is where we're at now. Waiting on TC race fabrication to be able to fit the car in, because unfortunately it's a new exhaust manifold flange, a new dump flange, and a new intake pipe, because it's now a 5-inch versus a 6-inch. So it won't look quite as impressive when the engine bay is open, but it should be just easier for us to basically manage everything. So I'll get a video up when the turbo's in. We're hoping to cut some more laps maybe in the next week or so. We've got the application in for World Time Attack, so fingers crossed we can get the car over there and have a good year with it. So we'll keep you guys posted. So with the video for SA Time Attack, we hope to have some in-car. Sadly, we have a V-Box in there, which normally auto records, but we unfortunately had just heat issues. The day was 35, 36 degrees. In the cabin was way too hot. And we get the first minute or so of in-car footage and it is shut off. But we'll try and put a bit of that in there. But ultimately, going forward, we should have that sort of sorted out with some better ducting or cooling for the V-Box, and hopefully we'll get some more in-car footage and we're going to play around also with putting the GoPro in different positions and see how we go.